Hey everybody, welcome back to the Race 5 Smokehouse and Grill, and today we are making some barbecue shrimp. And we are not talking about the barbecue shrimp that you throw on the smoker or the grill. We are talking about New Orleans style barbecue shrimp that you're gonna cook right here on your stove. Let's go. Now, when you think of barbecue shrimp, you're typically thinking about something that's smoked or grilled on a barbecue grill or a smoker. But down in Louisiana, they came up with their own type of barbecued shrimp, and it's all cooked in on a stove. The reason they call it barbecue shrimp, best to my research, is somebody had some sort of barbecued shrimp up in Chicago area. They went down to New Orleans and said, man, they had this shrimp with like this barbecue sauce. And based on their description of what they had up in Chicago, they concocted their own. It's very spice heavy with cayenne and pepper and garlic and butter, but it's cooked on the stove. Today we're using Chef Paul Prudhomme's recipe. I've cooked this a few times. I've done different test versions of this, and this is an amazing recipe. So we're gonna jump into it, get our spices together, and I'm gonna tell you some tips that you must follow in order to get this right. We have our spices put together already, and I did cut back on the cayenne and crushed red pepper. The first time I made this, woo! Blew my face off spicy. The taste was there, it was perfect, but man, was it spicy. If you like spicy, go with the original recipe. If you want it toned down a little bit, do what I do. So what we have in our spice bowl here is a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme leaves, 1/2 teaspoon of dry rosemary leaves that we crushed, 1/8 teaspoon of dried oregano leaves. And that's what we have in our bowl here. The original recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of cayenne. I cut that down significantly, like 3/4. That was a hot. And then for the crushed red pepper, it says 1/2. I did 1/4 teaspoon. So that's how I reduced it. If you want it spicy, go ahead and use the original amount. I'm telling you, it's pretty spicy. We have our seasoning mixed done. That's it. Give this a mix around because this is just gonna go straight into the pan here. And the other ingredients that we are using for this is butter. We have a stick plus 5 tablespoons of butter. We have some Worcestershire sauce. We have some chicken stock. The recipe calls for shrimp stock. I could not find any shrimp or seafood stock locally, so I'm just gonna use some chicken stock. It's gonna have a little less seafoody flavor, but you're only using 1/2 cup, so it's not that big of a difference. And a couple cloves of garlic. Really only need probably 1 large clove. I've got a couple decent sized here. It calls for 1.5 teaspoons with somewhere in between 1 and 2 of these. So I like a lot of garlic, so I might go with both. And then 1/2 cup of room temp beer. You add that at the end and it gives a great aroma, a little bit of flavor, but it's traditional to add some light beer into your barbecued shrimp. You got spicy seafood with a little beer. What's more barbecue than that? Last thing I want to talk about is the shrimp. We have about 1.25 pounds of shrimp here, and you want to make sure that your shrimp has the shells on it. I ran a test where I did shrimp with no shells on it, and it was very delicious. However, it was a little lighter of a sauce at the end. It was a little paler, and it was a little thinner. You want to keep these shells on here because there's a lot of protein in here and collagen that's going to break down and cause a great coloring effect of the sauce. It's going to thicken up from that extra collagen and protein. Plus there's more flavor in the shell, and it's going to give a better glossy sauce at the end. So let's get over to the stove and show you how to put this all together. This is only going to take about 6 minutes total of cook time. So it's all about the preparation, making sure you have everything at your disposal, measured out and ready to go. We have all of our stuff ready. Let's get over to the stove, cook this barbecue shrimp. So we got our carbon steel pan ready to go here. You could also use a cast iron pan, but you want something that's going to keep heat well and distribute heat well also. So we're going to get this on a medium-high heat, closer to high, because this again is going to cook fast, and you want to get that butter melted and all those flavors integrated. Trust me, fast cook, about 5-6 minutes total. Not quite 6-7, but close, 5-6. Pan is getting hot. Let's add our butter in right now. Add some Worcestershire sauce, which is going to be 1 teaspoon. Our garlic, I'm just gonna crush it in. You can go ahead and mince it by hand with knife. I find this to be a little easier. Then we're gonna add our dry seasoning in here as well. Blend this together. Once you add that seasoning in here, you're gonna smell how delicious this is gonna be. This smells fantastic. Now, once this is melted and looking cooked through like it is now, we're just gonna add our shrimp right over the top here. And then we're gonna cook for 2 minutes. And you wanna shake it back and forth. Now what's happening right now is that butter's getting in there, all that sauce, and the seasoning is reducing some. That Worcestershire is gonna reduce some, get a little darker texture inside the pan here. Those shells are giving off that protein and collagen. We're really making a great base for what's gonna be the sauce at the end. And be sure to shake the pan early and often. Timer's going off. Time for the next step, more butter. We're gonna add 6 tablespoons of butter on top of this. And then as that's cooking down, we have 1/2 cup of chicken stock. Again, if you have your hands on shrimp stock or seafood stock, that's gonna add to a better, more dense seafood rich flavor in your dish. But chicken stock, veggie stock, those will work as well. At this point, you wanna make sure you're on the high end of medium-high heat, if not high heat, because we wanna melt this and we wanna get this boiling and bubbling in there so we can get that seasoning under the shell and get that meat nice and seasoned as well. And now that that butter is melted off and looking great, we're gonna cook it just this way for 2 minutes. Timer's going off. Time for the last step. Add 1/4 cup of light beer. You want room temperature beer as to not completely cool this down while it's cooking and rolling at a boil like this. So about 1/4 cup of light beer. Yeah, it's room temp. We get that added in, and now we're gonna go for a minute or 2 until we get this reduced some more, get that sauce where we want it. And then we're gonna pull it off when that shrimp is done. Another reason I like the carbon steel on this, it's a lot lighter than cast iron. So you could do that maneuvering of the pan a lot more and of the shrimp and everything, get that sauce moved around a lot better by using a lighter pan. Cast iron's great, I love it. I'm really moving towards these carbon steel. This is done, take it off the heat. We're gonna go ahead, plate this up, get you some nice French bread. I have some homemade French bread. I'm gonna cut a slice, meet you at the island. I'm gonna show you what we're working with right now. Now all you have to do is dig in. You can serve this over rice, which I did the other day when I made this without the shells, and you can see in here how pale it looks compared to what we're about to eat here. Or you could just throw it into a bowl with a nice bit of French bread in there, and make sure you spoon some of this sauce over the top as well. Because that butter, that sauce, and that bread, woo, it's like magic, baby. Now it is time to get messy. Just dig in and eat up. Peel those shells off. Look how gorgeous that is. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so good. I'm telling you, these crazy Cajuns know how to cook down there. I tell you what. Then you take your bread, give that a dip in that sauce. Perfect amount of spice for me. Got a little heat in there, but it's not overpowering. The flavors are through the roof. It's so delicious. Buttery, spicy, herby, salty. And then you got the bread to sop it up with. Again, if you want to put it over rice, it's awesome as well. But definitely give this a try. Again, it takes like 6 minutes on your stovetop. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Check me out on social media. Be sure to like this video. I appreciate y'all stopping by and checking out the video. Take care, everybody. Peace.